Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. We're looking at a morning routine that elegantly solves a really frustrating mystery: stubborn belly fat. We all crave that calm, gentle morning, right? Yet for so many of us, mornings are just a frantic rush. And honestly, that rush might be the exact thing keeping you from reaching your health goals. Today, we're exploring a deeply ingrained Japanese approach to the first hour of the day. And the best part? This isn't about some extreme diet or a punishing workout. It's about a sequence of 5 incredibly simple, totally free habits that gently regulate your hormones and literally command your body to stop storing stress weight.
To see why this matters, we just need to look at the stark contrast between two very different approaches. It shows us that abdominal fat is way less about the simple math of calories and so much more about a hidden hormonal reaction. On one side, think of a 61-year-old woman in Kyoto. She doesn't diet, she definitely doesn't lift heavy dumbbells, she just takes gentle walks. And her waistline hasn't changed in over a decade. On the other side, we have the modern, super-stressed dieter. You know the type, tracking every single calorie, lacing up for those intense 6 a.m. runs, doing absolutely everything the fitness industry says to do, but still struggling with that stubborn fat around the middle. The difference between them has almost zero to do with willpower, and, well, everything to do with a specific hormone that spikes within just 30 minutes of waking up.
So let's get into part 1, the hormone working against you, known as the cortisol awakening response.
Now you might be wondering, what exactly is that? Well, cortisol is the hormone that gets you out of bed. We need it. But keeping it artificially elevated tells your body to wrap fat directly around your organs as basically biological insulation. Scientists call this natural morning surge the cortisol awakening response, or CAR. When this response is pushed too high, too fast, or if it's kept elevated by immediate morning stress, your body essentially panics. It thinks, uh-oh, there's a sustained threat, and shifts into a highly protective fat-storing state. And the crazy part? Research shows it doesn't store this emergency fat on your arms or your thighs, it packs it deep in the abdomen.
To put that into perspective, this morning hormonal shift is massive. Within just half an hour of opening your eyes, your cortisol naturally surges by roughly 50%. 50. That is a huge, totally necessary biological spike. The problem isn't that the spike happens. The problem is when we layer extra stress right on top of it before the body even has a chance to stabilize. When we do that, we're trying to fight a delicate hormonal pattern with blunt tools, like strict diets and intense morning workouts, that were just never designed to touch it.
Which brings us to part 2, the first 90 minutes. Let's do a gentle chronological walkthrough.
This timeline perfectly maps out the ideal first 90 minutes of your day. We're basically replacing that standard morning panic with the Japanese concept of deliberate pacing. Every single action here is designed to gently boot up your nervous system. We are completely rethinking the first hour. From the moment you wake up to that 90-minute mark, the entire goal is biological calm. So let's look closely at step 1.
Habit 1. Hydrate before you stimulate. When you wake up, your body is severely dehydrated. After 7 or 8 hours of sleep, your cells are running on literal fumes. Yet, what's the first thing most of us do? We stumble into the kitchen and reach straight for the coffee. The Japanese alternative is so much kinder, just a single glass of warm water. The warmth gently brings your digestive system back online, whispering to your nervous system that you're safe. Adding a tiny pinch of sea salt replaces overnight mineral loss, specifically magnesium, which is crucial for regulating that cortisol we talked about. And a quick squeeze of lemon provides vitamin C, which studies show actually helps blunt those cortisol spikes.
Dr. Andrew Huberman from Stanford really hits the nail on the head here. He offers this powerful insight into why the warm water absolutely has to come before the coffee. Your body desperately needs hydration first, not stimulation. Think about it. If you introduce caffeine while your cortisol is already naturally surging by 50% and your body is completely dehydrated, you are basically pouring fuel on a fire that's already lit. You are artificially extending your stress response and telling your body to hold on to that stubborn belly fat because it thinks a full-blown crisis is happening.
Okay, habit 2. Step into natural morning light. Getting real sunlight, and I mean real sunlight, not the blue light from your screen, sets your internal 24-hour circadian clock. You really only need to get outside for about 5 to 10 minutes within your first hour of waking. But here's the catch. It has to be actual outdoor light, not sunlight filtered through a window pane. I know, it sounds almost too simple to matter, right? But the research behind this is some of the most robust in all of circadian science. This light is literally the primary signal your brain uses to know that the day has officially begun.
Light hitting your eyes sets off this absolutely beautiful chain reaction for your hormones. Dr. Sachin Panda at the Salk Institute found that when your internal clock drifts out of sync, usually because you miss that morning light, everything downstream drifts right along with it. Your sleep quality, your hunger hormones, your metabolism, and yes, your cortisol regulation, they all just go haywire. And that disruption, it is directly linked to increased visceral fat. That's that deep, stubborn abdominal fat we've been talking about.
It's incredible how a simple 5-minute habit of stepping out silently optimizes your fat-burning hormones for the entire next day. It's like a biological domino effect. Morning light triggers daytime serotonin production. Later on, that serotonin literally becomes the raw material for melatonin. That melatonin then gives you a much deeper sleep at night. And wrapping it all up, that deeper sleep guarantees a calmer, flatter cortisol curve the very next morning. It's just a perfect, self-sustaining biological loop. Now, our third habit might be the most uncomfortable one for some of us, the 90-minute coffee delay. In Japan, there's this beautiful concept called ma, which means the deliberate pause or the intentional gap. Applying ma to your morning simply means giving your body a full 90 minutes to wake up naturally on its own terms before you introduce any kind of stimulant like coffee. Here's why this is an absolute game changer. When you wake up, your brain is full of adenosine. That's the sleepiness molecule. It takes about 90 minutes for your body to naturally clear it all out. If you drink coffee right away, the caffeine just blocks the receptors while they're still full of that adenosine. The adenosine doesn't disappear, it literally just waits in the wings. So when the caffeine wears off around 2 p.m., all that backlogged adenosine crashes down on you at once. Your body reads that massive crash as a stress event, spikes your cortisol again, triggers sugar cravings, and boom, repeats the whole fat-storing cycle. This brings us to habit 4, which contradicts pretty much the entire fitness industry. We've always been told that harder is better, right? That you need to crush a high-intensity workout before breakfast. But research shows that layering extreme physical stress directly on top of your natural morning cortisol spike just keeps that stress hormone elevated for the rest of the day. You might feel a great rush of endorphins, but beneath the surface, your hormones are quietly suffering. The Japanese alternative is Sampo, a super easy, unhurried walk of about 20 to 30 minutes. So, for habit 4, focus on gentle movement and optic flow. A gentle stroll to the corner store acts way more like medicine than actual exercise. You aren't walking to burn calories or get your heart rate up to its absolute maximum. Not at all. You're walking to physically calm your brain, all while stacking it beautifully with your morning sunlight habit. And the reason this specific type of gentle movement works so well? It comes down to a really fascinating neurological mechanism. It's called optic flow. Visually watching the world glide by during a walk physically turns down the alarm bells in your brain. Optic flow is just the visual experience of your surroundings sliding past you on either side, which measurably calms the amygdala. The amygdala is your brain's threat detection center. An overactive amygdala is kind of like a smoke alarm that just won't stop ringing, and that constant ringing keeps your cortisol elevated. Optic flow literally reaches up and turns that alarm off. This is exactly why sweating on a stationary bike while staring at a blank wall won't give you the same hormonal benefits as a simple walk outside. Which brings us to habit 5, seijaku, or stillness. And honestly, this might be the toughest one. Leaving your phone face down and silent. Protect your first 30 minutes. In Japanese, seijaku means stillness, silence, or tranquility. For the first half hour after waking, your phone just has to remain untouched. No emails, no doom-scrolling headlines, absolutely no social media notifications. And this isn't just about mindfulness, guys. This is hardcore neuroscience. Opening notifications the very second you wake up is literally like opening 50 browser tabs before your computer's operating system has even finished booting up. Based on Dr. Anna Lembke's dopamine research, the instant you look at your phone, your brain is flooded with tiny spikes of dopamine paired directly with tiny spikes of cortisol. In just seconds, you forced your nervous system out of a calm rest mode and violently jolted into a reactive, high-stress mode. This early stimulation raises your stress baseline for the whole day, meaning your body is going to demand more stimulation, produce way more cortisol, and ultimately store more fat right around your middle. Let's move to part 3, rethink your first hour. Bringing all these free, highly accessible habits together into a seamless morning flow gently boots up your nervous system. It completely prevents that biological panic that tells your body to store belly fat. So let's recap. 1. Drink warm water with a little salt and lemon first. 2. Protect your peace by ignoring your phone for 30 minutes. 3. Step outside into the natural morning light. 4. Take a gentle, unhurried walk to experience that calming optic flow. And 5. Grant your body the grace of waiting 90 minutes before having that first cup of coffee. It's a beautifully elegant sequence that honors your biology instead of fighting it. So, I'll leave you with this. Tonight, leave a glass of water right where you'll see it before you see your phone. Remember, that stubborn weight around your middle isn't a failure of willpower, it's just a hormonal response to stress. and hormones respond beautifully to gentle, consistent habits. So ask yourself, which of these 5 small hormone-balancing habits are you going to embrace tomorrow morning to finally change the equation?